read 3 series. How'd you do that, you might say? Well, first you have to lose your job and have a lot of time. Second, your kid has to get sick and then you have to take care of them for the whole week and just lie around and get very little sleep. So, ta-da! Series number 1. Series number 2, although I didn't finish this one. I only read, well, I mean, I finished this book, but not the others. And the last one is the False Prince trilogy. I really wish I had a copy of that book. Imagine that it's here. What are we gonna read this week? Okay, I would recommend this. It's just 3 stars. And it was a good enough hook that I wanted to keep reading. And then once I started reading the first book, I definitely wanted to finish the first trilogy so I could figure out, or I could get to the happily ever after. And of course there was like this annoying triangle, and the bad part was since she doubted the romance, that made me doubt the romance, which made it much less romancy or romantic. But I don't know. I don't think I'll read the novella Happily Ever After. Maybe I would read The Heir and the Crown. I'm also not buying all of them, but since they were published in 2012, they were available at the library, and we did go to the bookstore during our vacation to try to get the next book, but I wasn't ready to commit. They only had the whole set, so we're about to buy all 6 books. I mean, I kind of regret that because if I owned them, I probably would be reading them, but I could also just check them out from the library. Okay, the other book that I did have was this one, and I really like Jennifer Lynn Barnes' other series, The Inheritance Games, so I read all of those. This one was geared towards definitely young adult, so I would say 14 plus, just because they're chasing criminals and serial killers and getting in the mind of criminals, which I don't want to do, so it's really disturbing. And I hated the chapters that were in second person point of view. I can barely stand when it's in first person point of view. But another typical love triangle, which actually I think had better tension than in this one, because this one's pretty predictable. But in this one, I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna end up, but I'm not motivated enough to go to the next book. The last one, I don't have a copy of the book. It's the False King trilogy, which was also published in 2012. And the 3 books are The Runaway King and The Shadow Throne. So I read all 3 in a row. This one took me 2 days. The False King trilogy was so short and fast, it took me like a day. And fortunately, since this was an older series, then they were all available as ebooks on Hoopla, through your local library. I did not like the first person point of view because it's like this is more of a middle grade novel, like 10 and up, and so the narrator kind of had like a little bit of a whiny voice, and at the same time there were like war, sword fighting, death, and beatings, but somehow it wasn't that terrible because the main character was younger. I'm not sure how that worked, but then it shifted between first person and third person, which was a little bit jarring. Again, I still got hooked enough that I wanted to finish the trilogy. I would recommend The False King, another 3 stars. I'm not sure what to rate the naturals because I like her writing, I like the suspense and the plot, but it's like so disturbing. I'm not into watching crime shows and figuring out the minds of criminals, so. Interesting twist though that they all have like this natural power, so I guess technically does that make it a fantasy book? But then it's set in contemporary time, whereas the selection was kind of like in this futuristic dystopian time, and the False Prince was of course in this whole separate fantasy world, except there was no magic. That's it for the week.